Okay, welcome everyone to Mystic Conversations, where we are going to be talking about delving deeper into profound soul depths. And first, I want to introduce myself for those of you that maybe don't know me. My name is Janice Gallant, and I am an artist, a teacher, a mystic, a mentor for anyone that wants to seek a life of more soulful alignment, deeper connections, and of course, creativity in there also. So, as we go along, I'm going to keep checking and making sure I admit people as they come in. So if you see me a little distracted, that's what I'm doing. Okay, so it was about 30 years ago. In fact, it was 30 years ago. Hi, Micah. It was 30 years ago in October that my life completely changed. I went through a really big event in my life that took the wind out of my sails and brought me to my knees. And it was at that moment that I said, God, universe, whoever is there, I need help. I can't do this. And that was when I went through a bankruptcy at the age of probably about 26 or 27. And it was in that moment when I actually surrendered to the universe that I was guided to my next steps, that I heard messages. And I was always a mystic. I was always a spiritual seeker my entire life. That was me, even as a little kid, questioning, why are we here? How did we get here? What's the purpose of us being here? Right? Even as just a little one, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate to also. And anyway, so that was the beginning of my soul journey. And wow, did everything change and shift after that? You talk about synchronicities and meeting up with the right people and the right teachers coming into my life. Everything lined up. Prior to that, did I ask questions of the universe? Maybe, but I did not listen for an answer. I didn't even know how to listen for an answer, right? So tonight I want to share with you my experiences, but also what has come through as super important for you right now, right? So how this is going to work, we're going to have a beautiful conversation here, and I'm hoping it's a conversation through the chat. And my intention for you is for you to discover that art of navigating mystic conversations within yourself, accessing that higher wisdom, not just by fluke, not just by hoping for answers, but actually knowing how to go deeper into your soul and to find that wisdom and create a dialogue if you so need it, right? So there is profound wisdom there for us that is beyond our human being part of us, the little human that we are. There is this wisdom, there's this guidance and inspiration that can come through for us. Absolutely. And I'm sure many of you have had that experience already. And then at the end, I am going to share with you more about the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic Certification Program that is beginning in January. Some of you are already registered for that. I'm super excited. But that is starting January 11th. And I do want to share that at the end. So, but I'll let you know when I'm going to move into that. So if you are like, yep, no, I'm good with what I have, then you can go. We are in a new moon today. This is a perfect day, new moon energy and the 12/12 portal, December 12th. Now, the 12/12 portal is a high influx of energy, intense energy coming through for us. And these portals they're fairly new for us in really, really since probably about 2019. They've just been like coming in like meteors here into the earth. And I know there have been more prior to that, but they weren't as frequent. And so we had time to pull this in, integrate it, let it settle, and then, move into our life a little while, and then the next one would come. And now they just seem to be coming in quicker and stronger, more intense. This gateway is an angelic gateway and Christ light gateway, because this is the time of Christmas, right? So this is the power to bring light and healing to the world. And it's a reminder for us. It helps us remember the power that we have potentially within us. And all you have to do is think back to, the stories of Jesus walking on water, right? And having the ability to heal the sick. He showed us what we could potentially be. This is the energy that's coming through, the energy of potentiality for all of us, the energy of coming into our greatness. And it's a new moon in Sagittarius. So the Sagittarian energy helps us open up our perspectives and enables us to see beyond what we already know. It helps us see our potentials, our divine potentials. It helps us create infinite possibilities, right? It helps open us up to dreaming, to creating a life filled with miracles. And so all this energy combined is a beautiful energy for us to meet here tonight. Very auspicious for the mystic conversation. And it is the wind at our back. It truly is. This is the time for you to truly be looking at, okay, well, what is it that I want to create in my life? What is my heart really calling out to me? This is the time. And I know we keep saying this over and over, but it truly, truly is a big time period for us right now to be stepping into. So those of you that are in the Creative Mystic certification program, you are like, wow, ready to go. And the ones coming in, it's like perfect timing, because this is the energy. It's about, okay, let's get all our ducks in a row now. Let's get aligned with our heart and let's start to, create an impact in this life. So let's take a minute here as we jump into this conversation. And I just want you to close your eyes for a minute and just take in some nice, deep, long breaths. And just let go of your day. Let go of any noise of the outside world, any confusion, any to-do lists that still aren't done. Just breathing nice, long, deep breaths to center yourself into this moment. And I want you to really drop into your heart here. So after you've had your long, deep breaths, come into your heart and just breathe at your normal breathing pattern. But really feel into your heart. Really physically feel into that space in your body. I want you to imagine that there is a light there in your heart. And I often put my hand here on my heart because it just brings my focus right into my heart. And just imagine that light there growing. Imagine your heart softening. And as you lean into your heart space, and it softens and opens up more into love and gratitude, you can expand that feeling of love and gratitude just by thinking about things that you deeply love. Memories, perhaps, of being held in a hug, warm laughter with friends, where you feel such a sense of belonging and close connections. Perhaps a pet that you love deeply, holding that pet against your heart. And just let that heart light expand and grow. And I want you to think about what it is that your heart really desires for you in this life. What do you need more of in your life right now? Where's the tightness or the hardening happening in your heart? How can we soften it? What do you need more of to soften that heart? And I want you to think about why you're here or why you're watching this. Why do you want to have a deeper connection with your soul? What will it give to you? Really think about that. You might be thinking, I want a life where I'm more deeply connected to my higher wisdom in my heart as much as possible. But why? And if you have a journal in front of you and you want to just take a minute to softly open your eyes and write down your thoughts. Why? Why are you here? Why do you want to go deeper? What is your heart calling out to you for? And write it in the chat here. Write down why. What do you feel like you're going to get from a deeper soul connection? How is this going to benefit you? Beautiful. Deepest, pure love. Yes. The purest. What else? More joy, more fun, more enjoyment daily. Yes. Sacredness. Love that. Helping others find that essence within themselves, joy and love. Ooh, yes. I love it. Yes. And how does it help you? perhaps more peace in who you are, a sense of, yes, bring more authenticity, yes. And bring a sense of purpose, perhaps. Yes, more grounded in who I am and who I came to be. I love it. Yes. More you, right? Because when we do this, we bring in more of us. Our higher wisdom is us. It is our soul that we have here, right? Beautiful. Contentment with self. I love it. Yes. And at the foundation of all of that is we want to know that there is a purpose for us. Yes, fulfillment. Good one. Yes. There's a purpose. There's a reason why we came here, right? It gives us more validation for this life that we have here, a sense of a more meaningful life, connection, meaningful, purposeful, and that there's more here than just this day-to-day life of doing chores, of going to work, right? Small talk. There's more to this world than that. We want to believe that if we can create a deeper connection with our higher wisdom, then we will be creating more meaning in our life. Yeah. And this is it. We can, because we can create more joy, peace, and a life filled with extraordinary moments, right? If we go deeper. So most of us are skimming the surface of our life, right? So just plunk in the chat here. What percentage of your life do you think you live on the surface? You know, the day-to-day chores, going to work, picking up food or groceries, cooking meals, like on the surface level. You know, when I look at my life and how I've lived it in the past, usually I was at about 90% of my life was there, and 10% was when I had my moments of deep meditation or getting into my art, into my painting. But for most of us, yeah, in the world, we're just skimming along the surface of this life. And our time here is limited. What are we going to regret when we get to the end of our life? Right? So when are we going to start asking the deeper questions and having the deeper conversations with our soul? What are we waiting for, right? When it's too late, when we're on our deathbed? You know, let's not wait. Let's start to create that now. Now is the time to expand our consciousness. Not at the end when we're looking back at our life and thinking about what could have happened, what we could have been. Being honest with yourself now and being true to your heart. Here's where we access the wisdom. So imagine getting to the end of your life and being shown what you could have had, the wisdom you could have accessed if you had just done it, and if you'd had the courage to go for it all. Imagine you get to the end of your life and all of a sudden you're shown, like, you know, that white light, and it's like, oh, geez, you know what? You could have done all this. Here's what you had the potential for, but you didn't get there. So maybe next time. It's all good. The universe isn't judging. The universe has an infinite amount of time, right? We're the ones with the limited time here, right? It could potentially be your biggest disappointment, is getting to the end and going, geez, I thought there was more, but I just didn't go for it, right? The moment when you realize you could have done it all. Oh, the moment when you realize there really was something more here for you. We're often told to be present with our breath, to breathe, to be in the moment, to feel all the senses of the moment as we're here. And to drop into our body, to feel in our body. And this is all very important. But even this can be very superficial if we don't know how to navigate the deeper realms that are available to us, right? So we really got to drop into our heart and be thinking about, okay, what is it that I want to create? What is it that I want to know more about? How do I be in the moment? How do I delve into those profound soul depths? How do we initiate dialogues with our higher wisdom? What I want you to do right now is, as we get into this more and more, think about a time in your life when you did have, sorry, just got somebody in. When a moment in your life, when you received a divine message or a divine like intervention, right? So think of a moment when that has happened to you. When in your life did that wisdom actually come through for you? And put it in the chat for us. Like, let's see when we felt that inspiration, those messages come through. What was happening in your life when you felt that inspiration, that divine message? There's been a number of times in my life, and I'll share a few with you here so we can kind of look at the commonalities. Dreams. Yeah. Oh, I love that. Very good. You get that information coming through dreams when there's least resistance in our mind, right? When I went through my bankruptcy, when I said 30 years ago in October, I actually got my old journals out to double check that date because I kept going, when was that? And it was exactly 30 years ago, last October, when I was down on my knees and I heard clearly what my next steps needed to be, right? Because I was so exhausted. I was backed up into a corner. I had no idea what to do next. I had 3 little kids I was trying to raise and feed. And I was just so incredibly stressed and backed up into a corner. And I just kind of went, I can't do this. I'm on my knees. I cannot do this. And that was the first time that I heard a clear message to let it go. It was put down that heavy backpack. And then I was given kind of visions of what to do next. Another time was my oldest son had a drug addiction. And at the time, he was kind of missing in the big city in Calgary. And I had been searching for him and trying to keep a connection with him, walking around with my phone at work, just my husband too. We were just so incredibly worried about him. And I had a moment where I heard a voice. I heard a voice, clear as day. And it just like, whoa. Okay, that came from within me, but it sounded like it was outside of me. It was a pretty clear message. Have you found that when you were in deep trauma in your life or points of your life where you just were about ready to give up, like you're just like, oh, I can't do this, when you're so distraught, right? Another time was when I received messages of forgiveness from myself for my bankruptcy. And that was about 5 years ago when I uncovered another, I think the last layer of what was holding me back from that money trauma. I uncovered it as I was journaling and a message came through, but I was in the moment of like, I really need to get past this. I really need to understand this, right? Another time it was forgiveness for my son's addiction, forgiveness for myself that he went through that. He by the way, he was fine. We in the end, he came home and he got himself clean and he atoned for everything he had done, but it was a really hard time for our family at that time. But anyways, I felt so much anger and frustration at myself and guilt and shame for not seeing it coming, because it really just came out of left field for me. And I just was like, how could I have not have seen? I should have been able to see it. I should have been able to stop them from having to go through that. And then another like whoosh download, a message came through for me. So when I looked at all of these moments that we truly connect to our soul, and that there was clarity and guidance, and usually the next step is given to you in those moments. When you have those moments, what are the commonalities? Well, first of all, I was in, intense prayer, or even if it wasn't prayer, it was like a yearning in my heart for understanding. It was focused intention, and my heart was pure. It was like me speaking from my heart to the universe and truly seeking truth and guidance. In all of those situations, I had surrendered completely to the universe. So at other times that I've received information was when I was really curious and really from my heart, I really do want to know, right? What do we need to know about this, right? Universe, I really want to know what the energy of abundance feels like, right? Universe, I really, really want to bring a powerful message through. So what can we tell everyone about going deeper into our soul and initiating a conversation? And this how I tunneled. This is how this course, this masterclass, this conversation came about. So here's what it is. It's not just about sitting down with your journal and lightly asking a question. It's about asking from your heart, right? Feeling deeply about something. If you're not connecting at the heart level, then you're not connected to the motherboard. Like, you're not engaged. You're not calling it in. When I channel for other people, it's how bad do they want to know is how clear the message comes through, right? Those of you that maybe channel or read cards or something for other people, you know this. If they come to you going, oh, yeah, okay, tell me what's going to happen in my life in the next 6 months. It's like, I got nothing for you. So you really, there needs to be that heart-centered desire. And so when people come and they're in trauma or they're going through a hard divorce and their heart is all wrapped up in that, the messages come through really clearly because they really want guidance. They really want to know it. So you have to feel it, right? And if you can't feel it, then you need to turn the dial it down, or find that frequency, that feeling. Okay, maybe it's not that important to me, right? Journaling really helps me because what it does is it slows down the answers so that I hear them and I can record it, because I will forget what they say. And when I'm channeling, like when I'm getting a message coming through and I'm writing it down, it's like flowing through my mind, my heart, into my pen, onto the paper, and it really helps me process it and be there in the moment. So what really matters to you? What deeply, deeply matters to you? Like, what direction is your life heading, and how's it unfolding for you right now in this present moment? And are you okay with that? Are you skimming the surface, or are you going to go deeper? Right? If you knew and truly believed that you were part of the creation, that it's not just about responding to life, but that you were actually involved in the creation of your life, we would give it much more thought every day. So as we create our life, one thing you need to know here, your heart speaks the truth. What you think you want might not be exactly what your heart really wants. So going deep into your heart is important, and I'll talk about that again in a minute, but there is no stronger frequency than the truth of your heart. And so that's what you're manifesting, right? So you might say, oh, I really want to get this new career, this new job. But there's a part of you in your heart that says, yeah, but then I'm going to have to work long hours, and I'm going to have to, give up my time at the gym, and you won't manifest that job. And you'll be like, but why isn't it coming? Why isn't it coming? Well, because your heart is saying, I don't want it to infringe on my time. I want a life here too, right? So you got to be really, really clear in your heart of what you really, really want for those messages to come through. And when we have to remember that success in our life, it doesn't come with everything. It doesn't come with, beautiful relationships. It doesn't come with kindness. It doesn't come with meaning, impact, love, like all these things, respect from people. We have to build that. And as we go from the surface level deeper into each moment of our life, we start to build a life with more meaning. And as we are building a life with more meaning, we're deepening our dialogue with our higher wisdom, because it matters to us. It matters to me that I create deep, meaningful relationships. You know what? 10 years ago, I didn't even give that a second thought. Now, I really think deeply on it, right? Our goal is to become a greater person. That's our purpose here. I want to become bright-eyed and engaged in my life and the creations that that are emerging in my life, the creations that I have my hands in. And I want this for everyone else too. I want to light a fire in you, one like you haven't felt in a very long time. And I want to engage you with the desires to want a life of deeper meaning. And this will fire up your deeper connections with your soul. This is where it's at. This is where manifesting is at. And this is where gaining that higher wisdom connection, that soul, deep soul connection comes from. It's taking the time to begin the conversations, right? To be alive and to care about the life you're creating. So you have to pull yourself up out of the mundane. And we all have those days. Like we can be engaged for a little while and then we go back to the mundane. And then we can be engaged again for a little while and we go back to the mundane. So it's a process that you go through every day, pulling yourself back up, going into the deeper levels, right? Deepen into your heart. Ask the questions that matter to you. By asking the right questions, this is that really, really matter to you. This is when you're going to get answers. This creates the dialogue. You're living on purpose rather than responding to life. You're getting up in the morning and you're like, okay, I'm going to sink into my heart, really have that heart connection and start to commune with my higher wisdom and ask questions that matter to me. What matters to me today? What really matters to me today? That in itself is a good question, right? Just getting engaged in your life. Because you know what? Death is coming for all of us. We're on limited time. It's going to happen. And every day that goes by is one more day that we maybe didn't live to our fullest, to our deepest levels. We want to access the wisdom before the door closes on us, right? So here's a question you can ask is, how do I become an energetic match for an extraordinary life, for a life of meaning? How do I become an energetic match? Because it's all about energy and frequency. And when we're living here, skimming the surface of our life, our frequency is like, it's like dull. But when we can go deeper down, all of a sudden there's almost like a baritone of like, ooh, resonating. Now, what's going on? Right? Engaging your mind with conversations of the soul, with new learning, with new creations, new curiosities. These keep us going to those deeper levels. These keep us fresh. They keep us curious. They keep us thinking and questioning and moving forward. These things are important. It's the depth that we're willing to go to that will match the depth of our soul connection. But deepen into what matters in your heart and spend time asking, listening, right? Writing the questions in your journal, or just writing them on a piece of paper and posting it on your mirror in the morning so that each day you hold that and you go, yeah, that really, really does. That really matters to me, right? What matters to me is very different than what matters to you. So it's really hard to actually give you all of the questions to ask, but this is some of the ways you can go deeper, and we can have these conversations in the creative mystic, the soulfully aligned creative mystic. The divine feminine, though, like learning all of this is unfolding and it's a process, right? It's a opening up, learning how to sink into the feelings, into our heart, with our heart, communicating from our heart and not our mind. Our mind helps. Our mind is like a tool. Our heart is the connection, right? But this is all the space of the divine feminine. And whether you're male or female, you have a masculine and a feminine. We all do, right? The feminine is the one that accesses the heart, right? But your heart is your most guarded realm, right? It's the gateway of where our higher wisdom is accessed. So learning how to sink in to your heart space, to really think about what I want and what matters. It's like, yeah, my family matter to me. very, very much. They come first, right? But what else matters to me? Being supported by my family matters to me a lot. Having healthy relationships matters a lot. Because what is the purpose of anything if you don't have the people around you to share it with, right? What blocks our heart, though, is the fear of being vulnerable, even just with ourselves. The fear of going in and being honest and truthful in our heart, and this is the part we have to actually really work on, because if we can't do that, we're not going to get to those deeper dialogues with our higher wisdom. The biggest fear in our vulnerability is the fear of being disappointed, either disappointing ourselves or other people. But aren't we really more concerned with disappointing ourselves at the end of our life than worrying about what other people think of us? Of actually getting there and going, man, yeah, I really should have done this for me. Right? What's the story you want to tell at the end of your life? What's the impact you wanted to have made? I often see myself at the end of my life with my grandchildren surrounding, and I want to be able to tell them stories of, yeah, there were fears, but you got to go for it, because that is living life, right? In the creation. I want to be able to tell them stories. I want to be able to share wisdom with them. I want to be the one they come to when they go, I can't figure this out. And I want to be able to show them the way to gain the wisdom, because I feel like that's what our elders are for. And somewhere along the way, most of them lost the mission, right? So we want to access the wisdom because we truly want to know there's a purpose for us here in this life. So what's the questions you can ask? With each of us being different, you could ask, universe, how do I grow into a person who can create deep, meaningful relationships? Universe, I want to know who I am when I don't have to live in scarcity and struggle. Help me find that person. Who am I? Universe, I want to deepen into my heart. I want to know the truth of my heart. Right? These are the deeper questions to start asking, to write in your journal, to start to contemplate. And every time, and if it really, really matters to you, every single time, the answers have come to me, if not immediately, within a couple days. They come to me. Universe, I desire more peace in my heart. Show me the way. Remember, your questions need to be heart-centered, like a heart-open yearning, right? That brings it through. I really, really desire to know this. I really want to know. I really want to understand this. This is the stuff that keeps me up at night, right? I need to know, universe, how do I do this? How do I access more? How do I go deeper into my dreams at night? That one is one I've always been working on. Lucid dreaming, right? So hold it in your heart and the answers will come. This is where you start to create that dialogue. But if you sit down and you draw an oracle card and go, universe, tell me what I need to know today, like depending on the depth of your heart, you may not get an answer, or you'll get a very vague answer. I love oracle cards. I love pulling cards through the day. But when you really stop and drop into your heart first, the messages are clearer, more focused, right? And that's what mystic conversations are about. Knowing how to stop, drop in, and then ask the question. Knowing that that is a place to be held with reverence, because it is sacred. It is, somebody said that in the chat, sacredness, pure love. This is what we're tapping into. So we need to go into it with reverence and with intention. My heart is my biggest oracle. Yes. That is beautiful. Beautiful way of saying that. Yeah. Okay. So, and that's how I create my courses, my programs, these conversations. It's not about what I think you need. I call in a higher force and go, okay. So that is how you deepen your conversations. Hold it in your heart. And if the answers come to you in pieces, write those pieces down as they come. Sometimes the answers will come through another conversation, through, listening, through a song that comes up, through a card you pull, right? Sometimes it comes through that way. And there's so many different ways. And that's why I said in the beginning, if I didn't know, if I asked questions prior to 30 years ago, when I started this journey, prior to that, if I had asked the questions, I don't know if I got any answers. I didn't know what to look for. I didn't even know how to listen for the answers. And so that is another piece of it, is learning how to listen, to be aware, and to trust, completely trust that the answers are coming. And whether it's, your neighbor that says it to you, or something that pops up on your phone screen, the answers will come, right? Okay. All right. Does that sum it up okay? So you know, remembering that it is when your heart is yearning, like really, really yearning, that is what's calling out. So it's that deep heartfelt desire. That is what's calling out to the universe. So I'm going to move into talking a bit more about the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystics Certification Program now. And I love you all here. Heart frequency. Yes, it is heart frequency. Thank you, Micah. Yes. I love it. But first, I want you to know that on Thursday evening, we're going to take this to another level. We are going to go deeper in mystic acceleration, is what it's called. And that will be a beautiful guided meditation that will anchor in light codes and activations by Micah into our light body about all of this and more, right? So this is the piece that's missing for a lot of people. It's like, you do the mind flow work. This is important. You do the mind flow work, and you do cleaning things up, and be recognizing old patterns, and doing the work to grow in self-growth and self-awareness and soul work and all of that. But these meditations work on the energetic level. So while you do all that cleaning house and moving forward in life that we're all being called to do in these times, tough times, right? Lots of stuff happening. We also need to do the anchoring in of the energy, because it activates the energy at deeper levels within you, into a knowing within you. And if we get out of the way, like as humans, and just allow the energy to do the work, it settles in. And it's all about frequency and vibration, right? The light codes that come through, especially at this time right now, but these light codes are coming through to raise our consciousness, to up-level our souls, our energy. And when we do the meditations, it helps to settle the molecules, right? Get them all settled in alignment, anchored in, and aligned with the new frequencies that are coming through. It helps you become an energetic match with what it is that you're creating at an accelerated rate. So that will be happening on Thursday evening, and I'll be sending a new Zoom link out for that. But I am excited to bring that through for you. So it'll be a time when you can come, light your candle, and just settle in. And I will walk you through a beautiful guided meditation. You don't have to do anything. You just have to receive, right? Okay. So the Soulfully Aligned Creative Mystic Certification. It's a mouthful, absolutely. But it is a 9-month journey. If you found that this tonight was like, yes, this is what I want to create more of in my life, this deep, meaningful life, these deeper connections to my soul, more dialogue with my soul, then this is the journey for you, because it truly is all about becoming more and more soul deep, living your life from your soul, a soul-led life. And there's 3 main aspects to it. First of all, your deepening soul journey for you first. And then the mystic self, which is unveiling your psychic gifts and developing them more. And then how you bring that out to the world. So those 3 parts. But we actually have 5 modules that we walk through together. So the 5 modules that do those 3 things for you is the Soulfully Aligned You journey, which is like a love story with yourself. It's the deepening into your own soul journey. The Creative Mystic, which is your deepening into your intuition and learning how to channel and create more dialogue with your soul. The Mystic Business, which is the energetic foundation of business. So we set up that energetic foundation so that your business grows stronger in the more 5D world rather than the 3D old paradigms of doing things. And the Soulfully Magnetic Entrepreneur, which is the next level energetics of the mystic business. So then it's the energetics of you, the energetics of putting yourself so that you are exuding that light out to people that you want to share with them, and they are drawn to you. So that's that one. And then, of course, the Soulfully Aligned Money Mindset. So there's 5 parts here that we go through over the 9 months, right? So special note, though, my background is deeply rooted in the shamanic world, in psychospiritual development training, accessing that divine wisdom. So all the way through it. So this is very immersed within there. It's beautiful, it's magical, and absolutely nothing to be worried about. But if you're not ready for that, if you're not ready to access your higher wisdom and open to your team of support, then this is probably not for you, right? So you may not want to join us. But throughout the 9 months, we have a lot of creativity, because creativity opens the gateway. So we do paintings, shamanic paintings. There's lots of art journal activities. There's lots of journaling prompts to get you to go deeper. And if you are following and doing the work, it's just a magical journey. And of course, 9 months is a long time, and life sometimes gets in the way, and that's okay. It's about coming back again, coming back into it when things settle down, and you'll find that you learn ways to move through those crazy times a little more gracefully. And it's so important right now that we are connecting to our souls as we move forward in 2024 and beyond. Like this is what gives you the strength and the power to navigate through the craziness that goes on in our world. And it is probably going to get worse. And I do feel that 2024 is really going to call us into stepping into our strength and power. But this is your core. This is where you need to be, right? In your powerful center. So just to, probably there's some left brain questions about it. First of all, the content is all online 24/7 for you. However, we go through all of it together live. So we meet once or twice a week for some weeks, and we go through everything. There are modules that you can print off that will guide you and help you, think and go deeper. Everything is recorded if you can't make it. So all the group meetings are recorded, and then I send them out to you. It really is focused on the energetics, but there is a lot of left brain stuff too. So there's business modules, there's setup. We talk about social media. We talk about, the ins and outs of an online business, coaching skills. There's so much here. You also get at the end a certification and a logo for you to add into anything that you promote online for you. You also get the Creative Mystic modules so that you can go out and start teaching that portion of it. Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. You can put them in the chat there, or you can also book a call with me if you want to talk about it. So right now, though, I originally had the early bird pricing to December 1st, and the price went up. And then I was like, I think I'm going to keep the early bird price to the end of December, so that as we go through these events here in December, people have the opportunity. So first of all, Canadians, reach out to me, because I do have a Canadian dollar link for you. It's the same price, but it's in Canadian dollars. Creatively Fit coaches. If anyone is a creatively fit coach from Whitney Freya, then you get a very special price. And yeah, it's $2,500 right now, regular price, and there's payment plans. And like I said, there's a special rate for CFCs, and Canadians can reach out for the Canadian link. I didn't put the Canadian link on the sales page because it just would be a lot of prices on there. So I can send that to anyone. All right. So thank you all. Somebody just came in. Hello, if you just came in, we're just finishing up. Yes, Delmaine is here. Thank you, Delmaine, for saying that. She said, I'm currently in the program and recommend it. My business is growing in ways much better. Yeah, you are on fire with your business. That is, you're doing great. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I do know there's a couple people here that have registered for the next one. So we are a growing group. It's exciting. I am excited about it. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. I will send this recording out to you by tomorrow, because I just need time to download it and send it out. And then I hope you will join me Thursday night for the same time, 6:30 p.m. Mountain, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 on the Eastern. So come and join me for a guided meditation to anchor all of this in for you. Right? Thank you all. I love you. And I'm going to just